What up, guys? Thank you to the. It's live. It's live, people. Mess up. Ooh. But the good thing, we can start over. What up, people? Welcome to the Vol 500, day 36, Wednesday, Wisdom Wednesday. And I'm chilling, man. Everything is going good. How are things going for you guys this week? Hopefully, everything is going well. Um, I definitely have a few things that I want to talk about in general as far as the businesses and stuff that I'm working on. Um, as I don't know if you know, but I'm working on something called Spate.cloud. And it's coming along. It's going to be my school. It's going to be a place for influencers to go where they can store their videos. They can also download music for their projects. And it's going to be like a all-in-one place where you can also get certifications, because you guys know that I'm a teacher, so I want to incorporate that. So Spade.cloud is going to be everything that I love when it comes to education, music, entertainment, and technology. It's going to be all of those things in one. So I'm looking forward to that, and it's coming along well. And you guys can get maybe a glance at it. If you go to spate.cloud, you can kind of get a glance at the idea of what I'm building. I'm building the whole project myself. You guys know that I've been working in tech for the past maybe 20 years. So I'm building spate.cloud from scratch myself. It's going to be an all-in-one platform where you can learn, you can get a certification, and then I'm going to build it up to where you can even get degrees in technology. It's going to be an all-in-one platform for creators, where creators can come and save their videos, save their photos. They can also learn about technology, learn about the future of technology. So it's going to be like all the things that I love. Like I said, it's going to be entertainment, music, a creator platform, and it's going to be an all-in-one thing with all the things that I love. And I'm building it myself. It's going to be spate.cloud, spate.cloud, and hopefully you guys will be able. It's going to be the future of education, entertainment. It's going to be really cool. It's a really cool platform. So, but that's it about that. But I do have a business feature today, and her name is Janice Bryant Howroyd. Hopefully, I'm saying her name right. Janice Bryant Howroyd. And she built her company to a $900 billion empire. She's the founder of Act One. And she started her company with a $900 loan. So, if you guys are just tuning in, it's the Vol 500. We talk every day about business, mental health, everything. And I usually give I have a business feature where we talk about somebody that built their business from the ground up. So, we talk about pretty much everything. But today's business feature is this young lady, Janice Bryant Howroyd. And her motto: never compromise who you are as a person to become who you wish to be professionally. Sorry, I said professionally. All right, so uh, let's get into some information about her so we can learn about her a little bit, because when I do these features, I try to feature people that I don't know, that I never heard of, so I can learn in the process. We can all learn together. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Did I? But here, look. All right. Wait. Before we get into that, you know what? Um, let's just get into a little business insight, I guess. Um, so one thing, this is Wisdom Wednesday, so I usually try to give a little bit of information from my own experiences before I get into the business feature. So, um, the power of patterns. Now, that's something that's really important because I saw this interview that Steph Curry did one time, and he's somebody that's very successful, not business, but in basketball. And he talked about patterns, and he said he has a thing that he does where he looks at a certain part of the rim, and then that's how he figures out where he's going to shoot it. I forgot exactly what he said, but I think he looks at the rim a certain way. So the reason why he's so talented of a shooter and the reason why his percentage is so high is because he recognized the pattern from shooting so much, from having so much practice. He recognized the pattern and he was able to figure it out and improve his shooting percentage, right? And being able to recognize patterns is something that is like a natural talent. You can develop that, but it's a natural talent because even when I was young, right? I'm gonna go just on my life in general. When I was young, breakdancing was in, right? And everybody used to break dance around the block or whatever. And we used to have this thing where we would go buy linoleum from the store, and then we would cut the linoleum, and then we would break dance on top of the linoleum. We would bring it out in front of our houses and then break dance on the linoleum. So my point is, what I did, I took the linoleum and I said, hey, let's go and put the linoleum on top of this little island that was by the main street. And we took the linoleum and we put it on top of the main street. I was a little kid. And we put it on top of the street and my thinking back, the reason why I did it is so we could have a bigger audience, right? I put it on top and all the cars were passing and everybody can see us and people were walking by. It was an active area. So that was just a natural thing for me. I said, hey, let's go put the linoleum somewhere where there's an audience. Instead of just putting the linoleum in front of the house where only our friends and family are going to see it, let's go put it somewhere. So that was something that I did that was just being able to recognize a pattern early. And same as Steph Curry, when he was young, he recognized the pattern. So my point in business, if you can recognize patterns, you can be more successful at business, right? So you also, I've learned from my mistakes in business. One of the most important things when I started to fail, when I felt like I was failing in business, I went and I got a college degree. So I started my business and I was like, you know what? I have no idea what I'm doing. So I went and got a degree in business. And then I said, I want to improve my technology skills. I want to understand technology. I went and I got a business. I went and got a technology degree. So I wanted to improve, but a quick way to improve is education. Like it or not, a lot of the stuff that you're doing, it's been done already. People did it already. So if you just grab a book and you look, that might give you 15 years of experience. Just reading that one book might give you 15 years of experience that other person went through, the heartache and the headaches and everything that they went through. They could just tell you in the book, hey, this is what I went through. This is how I did it. So you don't have to do it. You know what I mean? So every time I had an issue, I said, you know what? I need to get another degree. I said, no. So I just educated myself. And that was my way of getting through the pain and getting through the struggle. It's like, okay, I'm not failing because I'm a loser. I'm failing because I don't know how to do it properly. So I need to educate myself and get another degree. So that was my thing and how I dealt with failure and trying to get to the next level, you know. So looking at the so another important thing is like it says here, intellectual property. Always own what you're doing and try to, even if you look at the people on Shark Tank, when they're trying to sell their ideas, they're trying to take it to the next level, they always want to try and keep as much ownership as they can. So when it comes to your IP, it's your IP. And whatever your idea is, try to just own as much of it as possible, right? So that's enough for me talking. Let's get into the feature. Again, this is Janice Bryant Howroyd. Hopefully I'm saying her name right. Let's get into this article. Janice, she founded Act One Group in front of a rug shop in California 45 years ago. She's grown to a global employment company. Forbes lists wealthiest self-made woman in the U.S. She has several books, and she built her business from a $900 loan to a billion. Says billion, right? I don't want to get it wrong. Yeah, $1 billion empire. So let's continue. Wait, where's this article from? I want to give people their credit. I think this is from Harvard, the Harvard Report. This article is from the Harvard Report. Okay, so she says the importance of staying true to you, core values, even as you make necessary choices, get ahead, never compromise who you are personally to become who you wish to be professionally. Now, sometimes when I hear these people speak, it sounds so cliche, like, oh, they say the same things that everyone says because they don't want to release too much information. They don't want to release that gold, right? They don't want to really tell people what they need to do in order to reach that level. And that's how I usually feel. But when you hear it, I don't really, when I listen to people talk, especially highly successful people, I really think they speak in code. So when you listen, and it might sound simple, but break it down into something like, okay, she's saying this, but what she really means is this. Because a lot of times these business people are high level consultants. And a lot of times, I'm going to be real with you, a lot of them don't want to give you the information that you need to have in order for you to be successful. They're not going to tell you exactly how they did it. They're not going to tell you how they got their business funded. They're not going to tell you the resources that you have available. You got to do the research on your own. If you're starting a business, you got to go out there and research that information on your own, because a lot of these people, they're consultants, and they're not going to give you a lot of information, even because I've read these articles over and over again, right? I'm on day 36, and I've talked about many people, and they don't give a lot of information in these articles. They'll tell you a lot of generic stuff like, oh yeah, I worked hard. Everyone says that. They don't tell you what company they went to get their loan, or they don't tell you the exact people that helped them, or they don't tell you that they had a brilliant business lawyer who actually they paid to help them with their project. A lot of the people behind the scenes are great lawyers, right? You get a business attorney and they'll say, hey, you pay them for hourly, and they'll explain it to you, and they'll help you get the paperwork done. So a lot of times, a lot of the people, they're not going to tell you exactly how they did it. So you got to take it with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. You got to go do the research yourself. You got ChatGPT and Google, use it. because a lot of times people are not going to hand feed you the information. I know that when I talk to a lot of really bright and smart people, they're not going to hand feed you the information. They want you to do the legwork and go out there and get the information on your own, and they're going to give you little tidbits. Like we're going over this article right now. She's a billionaire. She could probably drop some dimes on us, right? She could probably say, "Oh, this is what I did." This, and like 3 paragraphs, but it's not gonna happen. Like, all right. So she started her journey. She says in 1978. Woo! So she wasn't around a lot of entrepreneurs when she was young. She saw a lot of store owners. Um, she had low self-esteem. She wasn't really so confident in herself. So that's a story with a lot of people, a lot of new business owners. They're not really confident. They don't really have the knowledge base. But what's important is just start and learn as you go. Just start and learn as you go. Because me, when I started, I ain't know nothing. I didn't know anything. And I just learned along the way. And I said, hey, I don't know nothing. Let me go and get a college degree. And then I said, you know what? I don't know enough about technology. Let me get a college degree. So the thing is, I could have got certifications. Instead of going to college, I could have said, hey, let me get a certification in business. Go to school for 6 months. Now I have a certification. Now I know what I'm doing business-wise. Or at least I have a general direction. And then I could have went and got a couple of technology certifications. It would have cost way less money, hundreds of thousands of dollars less than going to college. So if you're an entrepreneur or if you're somebody, you don't have to go to college anymore. I'm not someone that downs college. I got 2 master's degrees. I'm a teacher, whatever. I don't down going to college, but some college is not for everyone. And if college is not for you, you could always get a certificate. You can get a business certificate. You can get a technology certificate. You know what I mean? Something that's only going to take you 6 months or 7 months to get. Then you're right in the working field. But the only thing is, if you don't have the education background, a lot of times you got to build up a big portfolio. So remember that if you gotta have a nice portfolio of whatever it is your goal is. If you're trying to break into cybersecurity and you don't have a college degree in cybersecurity, you have a certification. You want to make sure that you build up a nice portfolio that you can just email someone and say, hey, this is the project that I've worked on. This is my portfolio. And that's going to give, and you put that in your resume that you have a portfolio that you can send someone. And that's going to give you a better chance at getting that job. So if you don't have a college degree, whatever you're trying to do, make sure you build up some sort of an online portfolio of your work and with your certification so you can send it to someone, right? So, okay, back to this young lady right here, Janice Bryant. All right, let's see. Here. So she kind of got this idea. She started very young. She was a very smart young lady. She got the idea for her company in 11th grade. So that's interesting. That she was very smart and creative at a young age. So we're going back a bit, you know. Let's see what she says here. Okay, so when she was very fortunate to have a supportive family. Now, everybody is not gifted in that way. No matter what it is that you're trying to do, whether you're trying to go to school, whether you're trying to find a job, not your family is not always helpful. Sometimes you have people, hey, I could hook you up or whatever, but it doesn't always happen that way for everyone. She was lucky enough to have a supportive family early in her ideas to start this agency. So she had support from her family, and she said she still has people that work for her, and that work for her company from her family today. So she was very lucky in that way. And sometimes it's about being at the right place at the right time. When you have an idea, and you present it to someone, sometimes your family might be there for you, and then sometimes you're gonna have those situations where your family just don't know enough about business. They can't really help you because they just not knowledgeable about business. You know what I mean? Or for example, you have some kids that want to go to college and their parents are just not knowledgeable. They're just not educated people. They don't know how to study. They don't know how to take notes. They don't know how to organize a schedule. They don't know how to put a planner on the wall and organize and get the study in and get the work in. So you got to have parents that know how to do those things so they can kind of teach you, or you got to do it on your own. And sometimes that's really hard when you're young. You don't really know, like, hey, I got to take notes. I got to do this. And if you're not in the habit of doing that, it's going to seem harder than what it really is. You know what I mean? Because for me, studying was hard when I was a kid because nobody taught me how to study. I didn't know how to study. I'm just being honest. When I was a kid, I had to learn how to study by reading books. Like, okay, this is how you take notes. I learned about the different ways doctors take notes. I studied the different patterns and the different things that, you know what I mean? So doctors take notes in a specific way because they got to learn a lot of information in a short period of time. So you got to learn how to take notes in a certain way and learn how to remember things. And there's a certain way that you do that. So my point is, if you don't have people in your family that can help you, you still have to go out there and learn on your own, and don't give up just because you may not have the help that you need. She happened to have a supportive family, but it doesn't always work out like that. You know. Uh, okay, so right there, she talks about getting it right in the bottom line. And a lot of companies that we see today, a lot of companies didn't get it right at first. If you look at Amazon, right? Amazon didn't profit. Everybody knows this, right? It's pretty much public knowledge. Amazon didn't profit for 7 years. And you know why? Because they were trying to figure things out. They were trying to figure out how to lower the costs and make more profit. So they figured out, hey, let's create an affiliate program. And the affiliate program was a way for people so they could expand, right? They could expand their company without adding extra dollars. So an affiliate person could market products and put them on their website and then just have them deliver it. So you're doing all the work as far as finding the customers and getting them to your website, but they're doing the delivery part of it. So they expanded in that way. And what a lot of people don't know about Amazon is when they finally made a profit, the profit came from AWS, their digital services. So they expanded and they started offering They started offering cloud services, right? I forgot what year it was when they created AWS, but they started offering cloud services, and that's when they started to make a profit. And they used the money that they made from AWS, the cloud services, they used that to expand Amazon, the store, the physical stores, the warehouses where it wasn't so profitable. AWS used the money from the cloud services to fund everything else. And that's a pattern that you notice with a lot of businesses. They find something that you can scale, right? They find that thing that they can scale at a low cost, and they use that to fund everything else, right? And the same thing with Microsoft. Microsoft, they have the Microsoft Office. I think they have some sort of fees, like tiers where you can buy more ads, where you can buy more memory and stuff like that. So Microsoft used the money that they were making from these fees to fund the rest of the company. So it's something that you can see as a pattern that you see with a lot of these major companies is they find something that's low cost, that's easy to expand, and then they use that to expand other areas of the company. I mean, even when you look at Facebook, Facebook did the same thing. Facebook wasn't profitable at first, but they started with Facebook ads. Facebook ads was easy to scale, and Facebook ads funded everything. They funded the whole company, and then they funded the whole company so well that they started buying other companies. And I think they own like 20 companies right now, or maybe more. I'm not even sure, but it's a lot of companies, and they use the money that they made from Facebook ads in order to expand. So that my point is, she mentioned the bottom line. The bottom line is you got to figure out as a company how to scale your company at a low cost price so you can make a profit in that, and you have to figure out that profit margin. So you have to be able to scale your company at a low cost so you can make more profit is what she's trying to say in this little piece right here. And I went on for too long, longer than I thought, longer than I wanted to, but all right, let's keep going. Okay, so often women ask me at speaking engagements during how can they become more like her? That's very interesting. That is very interesting. Yeah. Um, that's a really interesting moment right there. Now, you never want to be like someone. Everyone is different. You have to find your own lane. And that's what she's saying. She's saying, don't be like me. You're not going to be like me. You're not going to be in the 11th grade in high school and have an idea for $1 billion company. That doesn't happen to everybody. She made a lane for herself. And that's you have to make a lane for yourself. You have to do the things that you enjoy. She enjoyed helping people, and she enjoyed helping people find jobs. She found her passion very early. Doesn't happen for everyone. Some people find their passion at 50 years old. A lot of companies were started with people when they were in 50 and 60. Some people don't have that gift to find their passion early, but she happened to be the one. So that's what she means when she says you got to do you. Is not everybody's going to find their passion early. You might find your passion at 25. You might find your passion at 35 or even 65. It's okay. It's okay. And that's basically what she's saying. Just do you. Do you, find your passion, find what you like to do. And if you find something that you like to do, don't worry about the money. Just do it. Become good at it. And eventually you're going to win if you're good at what you do. That's it. So King, I appreciate you guys for tapping into the Vault 500 today. It's going to come to an end right now. Appreciate you guys. I saw a lot of people tapped in today. Appreciate you. The Vault 500 Wisdom Wednesday. And our business feature today was Janice Bryant Howroyd, a billionaire. She created her company at a very young age. It's Act One. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of it. I appreciate you guys checking it out. You guys can do your research on her, your own. She's a billionaire entrepreneur, very successful. I appreciate you guys for tapping in. I'll be back tomorrow around the same time, and we'll be talking. It'll be Thursday. What is Thursday? We'll figure it out. This is King here. Thank you for tuning in to the Vault 500 Wednesday, day 37. No. See, this is live. The Vault 500, day 36. King here. See you tomorrow. Later.